Hey everyone, it's Chris Bennett, your blockchain beard guy. I want to talk to you guys today about something very different than blockchain, something much more fundamental and mind-blowing. I want to talk to you about the very nature of reality itself. One of my favorite areas of study when I'm not talking about blockchain and technology is the world of the very small, quantum physics and quantum mechanics. I find this area of study fascinating because once you get down to very, very small scales, the rules of the game change entirely. We live in the world of the big, and in this world, we take certain truths to be obvious. Things like the principle of non-contradiction. It is impossible for me as a human being to both exist and not exist simultaneously. In fact, to even think about something like that just sounds crazy. We know that something can't be both true and false at the same time. But when you get down to the world of the very, very small, when you get down below a length known as the Planck length, a length that is 10 to the negative 33 centimeters, the rules of the game change completely. And things like the principle of non-contradiction go right out the window. In the world of the quantum, it is possible for things to both exist and not exist at the same time, to carry contradictory properties simultaneously. And perhaps most mind-blowing, quantum physicists have shown that once you get down below this scale, things don't actually exist until you observe them or measure them. Let that sink in for the moment. The very fabric of reality, the things that constitute our life and our experience and the universe around us don't actually exist until we observe them, until we look at them. In fact, here's something to think about for the rest of the day. Do I exist when you're not watching this video? Well, quantum physics would say maybe I don't. All of this can sometimes be difficult to understand, these mind-bending properties of quantum physics. And that's why I have such a deep respect and appreciation for people who are able to communicate these difficult and sometimes mind-bending topics in a way that doesn't require an advanced degree in mathematics or theoretical physics. And one of, if not the greatest science communicator I've ever come across, except for the dear departed Carl Sagan, is Manar Bouazza. She does an incredible job taking these complex ideas and breaking them down so that they're consumable to average people like me. She should have a following that numbers in the millions, if not more. So I'd really encourage you to go check out her work. And this week she published a wonderful article on the very nature of reality itself. She talks about how the famous physicist Albert Einstein struggled with these ideas. He really had trouble coming to terms with them and understanding what they were about. When faced with these basic principles of quantum physics, Einstein famously said he rejected them because he did not feel that God would play dice with the universe. Well, it turns out even though Einstein couldn't wrap his head around these ideas actually turned out to be true. And in 1964, a young Irish physicist by the name of John Bell proved that the universe doesn't actually exist until we measure it or observe it. If you really want to understand this fascinating story in more detail, check out the article link below that Manar wrote this week. She does a fascinating job breaking all of this down and helping us understand what this really means. It's a fascinating area of study, in my opinion, because this is right where science and logic and rationality come crashing full speed into spiritualism and theology. Really forces you to ask yourself some deep questions about what all this is and what it means. In fact, it reminds me of a quote from St. Thomas Aquinas, the famous philosopher and theologian who in the 13th century said, "In the end, we know God is unknown." If all of this sounds crazy, or maybe is just a belief you reject, that's fine. St. Thomas Aquinas has some other good advice for us too. He says, "In the end, we must love them both, those whose opinions we share and those whose opinions we reject. For both have labored in the search of the truth, and both have helped us in finding it." Anyway, check out Manar and the incredible work she's doing. Give her some support because she's doing a tremendous job. Until next time, this is Chris Bennett, your blockchain beard guy. Be good to each other.